Hey everyone, today I'm going to talk about using a timer and using a JavaScript snippet in order to create a timer that's independent of the timeline on Storyline. And one of the benefits to this is the fact that you can control things and have things show based on the timer as well. Now you could go in and you could do this based on the timeline, but with the Storyline timeline, it just automatically starts and then you can't really control that. So what we're going to do is we're going to control as soon as the learner clicks on one button, it's going to start the timer. And you could even have like a start button or something like that. I have it kind of set up just a basic structure of it. And then it starts the timer. They can see the time elapsed and then it gives them like different layers of like, hey, it's at 10 seconds. It's at 20 seconds. Okay, time's up. And now they can't click on anything below that. So this could help with like gamification if you wanted to create a timer as soon as the learner clicks on start. Different things like that. So let's go into our apps. If you head on over to LearningDojo.ninja, if you go into apps, you can use the JavaScript Snippet Tool to be able to accomplish this. It is all free, so you can click on Get Started for free, and then you just create a free account. Now, once you create a free account, you could download this same project file that I'm working with right now if you wanted to, or you can just use your own. And then once you're ready, you can click on plus and look through all of the different snippets. So the snippet that we're going to be focused on is the timer snippet. So I'll click on the timer snippet here. In order for this to work, you can see an explanation of it. If you click on watch tutorial, you'll watch this exact video. But if you click on this, you can see that we need to create a variable called timer. We'll display on the page and then trigger that as soon as a button is clicked. You can do that when the page loads, but if you do it when the page loads, it's the same as like using the timeline. So in that case, we wouldn't want to do that. And then it allows you to change a couple different things. So right now the timer will start and it adds by 1 second. If you want that to add by 2 seconds, 5 seconds, if you're doing something besides seconds, you can have it every second or every millisecond, add 2 points, 3 points, 4 points, things like that. But what we're doing is saying the end time is it's going to, as soon as it hits 30 seconds or something, that's when it will be the end time. But this is the variable that we create inside of Storyline. If you want to name it something else, so we can say timer 1 or something like that, then it updates the code automatically for me. If I want to edit the code, I can click on edit and then I can edit the code, but then the text fields down below kind of get removed because it doesn't know which text fields need to be updated at that point. I'm going to go ahead and just copy the code and let's come into this. Now, this is a simple little interaction. I want to focus more on functionality than I do interaction. But as soon as I click on option 1, what I want to do, let me ungroup this here, is I want to start the timer as soon as I click on something. Now, this is where I can have like a begin button or something, somewhere where it starts the timeline independently of the Storyline timeline. You can do it when the Storyline timeline goes if you wanted to, but this is just making it so it's independent. So now what I want to do, as soon as you click on this, let's go ahead and add a trigger. So if I go down to Execute JavaScript trigger, and then I just paste in that JavaScript trigger. Let me talk about exactly what's happening here. The first thing is we're creating a variable that will store the seconds. This is what's going to update every second. It's going to have the value of 1, 2, 3, 4, and so forth. Then we are creating what's called a function, which is a series of code that will only run when we call it. That's what a function is. If you're at all completely new to JavaScript and Storyline, or if you're new to JavaScript and you want to learn JavaScript basics, you can check out my full course where I talk about everything you need to know about JavaScript and then also how it applies to Storyline. So if you wanted to dive into that, you can check that out there. But here it's a function that every time this function runs, it'll add 1 second to this variable. And that variable is just kind of storing the information. Then what it does is it's putting that, because Storyline doesn't know about that variable change, so we have to set the variable to Storyline. We have to let it know that this value has changed. And that's exactly what we're doing. We're doing a setVar. We're updating that variable timer 1 to be specific, with the new value of whatever this second is, essentially. Then inside of this, where it gets to 100, if it gets to 100 seconds, we're going to clear that so it's not continuing to run in the background. Because if we don't clear that, it's going to continue to run forever. So we want to make sure that we clear that, and it's going to do that as soon as it hits 100 seconds, which we can change. You can change that here, or you can change that inside of the code. Then what it does is it starts the timer as soon as this code runs. So as soon as this code runs, it's going to start this function and it's going to run every 1,000 milliseconds. So 1,000 milliseconds is 1 second. So if you wanted this to run every 5 seconds and you're adding points or something like, okay, like a new level updates or something like that every 5 seconds, you could change that to 5,000, which would be every 5 seconds. Or if you did 50,000, then that would be every 50 seconds. So hopefully that's clear. So you can see that it's going to run every 1,000 seconds. But it's only going to run once we trigger this code. Once this code is triggered, we can do that. Now what we need to do is we need to change that variable. So it's going to happen when this user clicks, but I changed it inside of my code to timer1. And right now I have a couple different triggers that are dependent on this timer variable. So I can simply just come in here, and I should have just left it at timer, but I'm going to come into timer1 or update it to timer1. And then when I click OK here, it's going to update this all to timer1. So we're good there. But what I'm doing here is I can get the value and I can run triggers based on that value. So when the variable changes, so when timer1 changes, which will be every second, what we are going to do is saying if that is at 10 seconds, it is going to show this layer. Well, that layer is saying, hey, it's 10 seconds. At first, you'd probably want to tell the learner, hey, you only have 30 seconds or you have 100 seconds or something like that to be able to do that. It's going to show a warning and then it's going to show 20 seconds and then it's going to show time's up. But what happens on that is it hides the layer as soon as the timeline ends because I don't want this to continue to show. I want it to go away. On this layer, I basically have it set to 3 seconds right here, that at the end of 3 seconds, that's when that layer will go away. And I want to make sure it's 3 seconds because within 10 more seconds, the next layer is going to show. So I want it to go away well before then. So then 20 seconds, and then I have this set to show at 30 seconds. Now I don't want that layer to go away at the end of this. So I'm going to go ahead and delete that trigger because I want this to be like, sorry, time's up. What I also did is added this gear icon, or in the gear icon, is I prevented the user from clicking on other layers. So they won't be able to click on the base layer and try to continue the game or something like that. Now that's all I did just to kind of initially set that up. What I'd want to do is have this actually show layers and other things or make it interactive, make it a game or something like that. But for now, I just have this to begin with. So let's go ahead and preview that because the execute JavaScript will happen as soon as you click on one of these items, or just right now, option 1. But I'd want to have like a start button or something like that, that's really what triggers the initial start of the timer. So let's go ahead and see what happens here. Now I did have someone ask me on YouTube the other day, hey, what if I wanted to add 10 seconds to it? So you could actually do the variable sec, and then you can do plus equals, and then you can do 10, and you just add that to another button if you wanted to. All right, so our time elapsed down at the bottom is still set to 0. If I go ahead and click on option 1, then this is going to start to increase. Now, as soon as we get to 10, it's going to show us our first layer. And it's only going to show for 3 seconds, and then it's going to go away. So there is a, hey, it's 10 seconds, and then it will go away. And then at the 20-second mark, it'll show the second layer. So there is the second layer, and then it'll go away. And then at the 30-second mark is when it will show the time's up, and I won't be able to click on anything on the base layer. So there is our 30 seconds. Now the timer is still running. Why is the timer still running? Because we had the end time set to 100. So what we'd want to do if you don't want the timer to continue to run is you'd go into you can either do it through this code. In fact, I'll do that, just add 30 there. And then I can just copy and then just get rid of all of that, paste it inside of there. And now it will only run until 30 seconds. Let me go ahead and I'll jump ahead in the video. But let me go ahead and preview that just to show you that this will stop running at the end of 30 seconds. Okay, so I'm going to start this and then I will jump ahead to almost 30 seconds. Okay, so it's almost 30 seconds. It should stop the timer. So there is 30 seconds. It stopped the timer. We're good to go. All right, so that is how you use the timer JavaScript inside of the JavaScript Snippet Tool, which you can sign up for free. That's how you use the timer and pretty much what the breakdown is of each of those steps inside of that timer. If you want to check out more, head on over to my website at LearningDojo.ninja. You can check out all my previous blog posts. You can also check out full courses covering everything from A to Z, including the JavaScript and Storyline course like I talked about. And then also you can check out other free apps like my GSAP animation tool, my certificate apps, my coaching app as well, and then Dream Crusher and Checklist. You can also go in and download free templates, join our community, and share what you learn with other people as well. Also, if you like this video, head on over to my YouTube channel, click the like button, subscribe to my channel, as well as hit the bell notification so you get notified of all future videos as they come out. That really helps my channel, allows me to continue to reach more learning developers like yourself to help them extend and customize these e-learning tools in any way that they want. That's all I have for today, so thanks everyone. I'll see you next time.